Hey guys, I told you I would be back. It's sundown, and that means we're ready to stand and deliver some more. I hope you enjoyed the book chat, book club. You know, this whole virtual thing does confuse me sometimes, but so let us go. Let's get things started this evening as we get ready to get your glass of wine, a glass of juice, a glass of water, whatever, because we're going to enjoy some fantastic reading. Kicking things off this evening, Barbara Lalla. Let's get into it. One time, NGC Bocas Lit Fest. Stand and deliver.
My name is Barbara Lalla, and I'm reading from my new novel, 1,000 Eyes. Tourists again, Thelma had said. Tourists can be good, smarty, but they can't take care of you because they don't have nowhere that belong to them to take care of you in. Sometimes them can't even take care of themselves, much less. How do you think me and Dorothy end up here? Thelma remembered, and probably Dorothy did as well, even though she didn't talk about it. Well, Dorothy didn't talk at all anymore. Thelma and Dorothy came from a larger island further north. They had lived in town. It was a tight, loud place with heat radiating off the sheets of metal that were walls and roof. Zinc, Thelma called it, though now she said galvanized so the others would understand. When their stepfather put them out, they walked and walked till they came to a wide open paved space on the waterfront. Thelma and Dorothy had found their way there a year before and learned to dive for coins white people threw from ships and shoot back up to the surface with a money or two in their fists. But now they looked for food. So one day they were searching a bin where people threw leftover food and stuff cleaners swept up from the street, as well as the fish guts dumped by the couple of fishermen who had cast a net from the dock because their boat had been stolen from them long before. That was when a woman called out to ask the two little girl children rifling through the garbage whether they wanted a thing called plantain tart. Want plantain tart? Any picnic would have killed for plantain tart. The woman said somebody bought it for her to try, but she didn't fancy it. She had thought the thing would have meat. The tourist lady watched them closely while they were yamming down the pastry, and she decided to buy them chicken. She told them her name, but it wasn't anything they could pronounce, and since it made no sense to them, they now remembered her only as tourist lady. Anyway, now they were friends with this tourist lady who had come off a cruise ship and was getting ready to board again. And just as she was saying that she wished she could take them along, what had become a crowd thickened, tightening around them. Desperate people shouting and cursing on the waterfront, demanding to get on the cruise ship. The people in charge of the ship hustled their passengers onto the launches and up the narrow steps on the side of the ship. Then the ship pulled away as fast as it could go because people on the shore were pushing off in any little thing that could float, and some just threw themselves into the water and swam frantically for the ship. But somehow, in this fracas, the tourist lady managed to smuggle the two little girls, born and growing ghetto, onto the ship. One big, shiny ship with brass rail and glass cut in pretty shapes tinkling around the lights overhead. In no time, she had them bathed and dressed in two of her T-shirts, which fitted them like dresses, and she said she would grease some palms to keep the children with her, whatever that meant. It sounded to Thelma like some sort of dirty work. Only in no time it came down to the same story. They were barely out to sea when another boat drew up with man and woman cursing and slashing, ordering some people into cabins and locking them in. When some of the crew on the cruise ship agreed to join up with them ruffian, that was that. The people who had taken charge separated the adults into groups, deciding who they could get money for and locked those up. Then they threw the rest overboard. Some they shot first, some they didn't, and one of them was tourist lady. The children scrambled away into any crevice they could find, behind stacks of beach chairs, under lifeboats, every nook, but there was no escape. The Crouters sailed that cruise ship with their own boat close behind, till they reached whatever point suited them. Then they told these children that the water near the shore was rough that day, and they must do the best they could to reach land and stay alive till they were big enough to be useful. And they threw these children in the water. Plenty picked me, as Thelma recalled. Might be 30 or so. But most couldn't swim at all, let alone in rough sea or not so far. In the end, just 5 or 6 washed up that time. Every year, these people the children called Crouters came back for whosoever they wanted. But the rule was not to talk about that. Thank you. This is 1,000 Eyes.
To adults, good morning. I am Sean Taegar from Belize. This is my poem, Spirit, from my book, Spirit, Fire, Light. Spirit, a voice of fire blazes the future, sailing the spirit with wings of fire, sailing the cosmos with a tongue of storms, a tongue of remembering, singing the future with an eye of prisms, the memory, mother of wombs, imaginations of stars, of astral water, singing truth to the ear's focus of stars, hearing spirit in the heart, the sea's drum of death, waves of flame nourishing a breast of pearls, a breast of diamonds blazing the sun's womb of life, the sun's hands of wind instructing the lungs to breathe sky, instructing the future to be born and sing its infinity of fire, a heart of birds, a heart of sea. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you with all my heart. Dream the distance of death, dream the future alive with suns, dream the sky's song of wind, transforming the belly to dreams, transforming God to the spirit of all spirits, the spirit of imagination's fire, harmonizing the knowledge of balance and stars, of fire and focus, launching life to dream, to the space of forever, to the infinity of seeing, launched in the eye of all directions, in the eye of God's tongue of diamonds, in the future's kaleidoscope of sun, in the mother's womb of astral water, in the abyss of nothing. Thank you.
In the jungle of instruments, I am king, for it is I who existed from the beginning. I was, I am, and I ever will be, the voice of nature as heard by humanity. Made of leather skin and wooden bark, I was the pounding of the rain against Noah's ark, the sound of an exhale as God breathed into man. Yes, the sound of his fingers as he shifted the sand, and when Eve stared Adam deep in his eye, the palpitating beat of his heart was I. When red-necked men started to sail the ivory coast, the lash of the whip was the sound I would boast. The groans of a man in the barrel of a ship, bound by chains in his ankles, in his hands, at his hip. The splash of the water as the dead thrown overboard. Yes, the wailing of the women as they cried to their God. And when those chains finally broke forth in 1834, I was the shouts of freedmen as they stormed out the door of colonial plantations to lead their own lives, to pursue their own happiness with children and wives. Oh yes, I am Carnival. With its hyped soca beats, I am men and women dancing all day in the streets. I am the call of a soldier as to war, when Martin Luther King and his fighters could take it no more. The look in his eyes the strength in his voice. The dream that he shared with the world was I. I am Hiroshima's fatal nuclear bomb. I rocked and I rolled full of hate to the ground. I am the bell of justice ringing loud in the courts. Yes, I am inspiration. I am innovative thought. I am the cry. When a child first enters this world, I am a father's protective voice when he hears it's a girl. I am rhythm, but I'm also the blues. I am the shootout that you heard of today on the news. The sound of a bullet from a firing gun. The siren of police cars behind a suspect on the run. I am the eulogy at the funeral read. Yes, I am the tears that you shed for the dead. I am a mother's weak, broken heart. I am the sound of her wishing her son could come back. I am birth, I am life. I am death in a single note. I am the rhyme scheme in the best poem you ever wrote. I am history's signature. On leather parchment I stand, for I hold the story of mankind in my hands. A story full of highs and yet many a low. A story of love, of passion and woe. I can spit it in rhyme. I can sing it in verse, child. I can tell the story so well, I don't need to rehearse. See, in the jungle of instruments, only the drum can be king, for it is I who existed from the beginning.
Thank you so much, Yakima Cuffy. As we continue inside Stand and Deliver, I'm not even going to introduce the next person because she's going to do a fantastic job of introducing herself. Nadine, take it away.
Hi, my name is Nadine Johnson, and my novel is called I Write Rhymes. It will be out in October. It's about a boy who moves to a new school and faces racism for the first time. It's a middle grade novel, but it also has poetry throughout that the main character writes to get through his difficulties. So I'm going to read two of those poems from the novel for you. The first one is called 1 Second. In only 1 second, you blink an eye, rain falls from the sky, you hear a lie, you want to cry. The clock ticks, you feel sick, a word is spoken, a nose is broken. You want a redo, but they come for you. There's no going back, you're under attack. In only 1 second, you can get a hard lesson. The second one I'm going to read is called How Does It Work? When you enter the world and start to holler, they put you in a box that matches your color. Stay in there, that's where you fit. Don't move one muscle, don't stand, just sit. Read that list in front of you. Those are the things that you're allowed to do. Don't step outside or try to leave, or we'll put you back on broken knees. Thank you.
Born to shine. The moment you were born, you were God's gift to the world. You saw signs every morn, and over time you became known. Your journey has never been easy, with so many hurdles to cross. And sometimes you felt like giving up, despite the fact you played the game like a boss. So rise up and claim your destiny, since it is there, knocking at your door. You are a warrior going into battle, so wear your armor and let your passion roar. With God as your guide and comforter, the sky is the limit for you. So play the game like you've never played before and claim your rightful due.
The title of this poem is Andrew's Invisible City. On a warm Sunday evening in a living room somewhere in the universe of cities, a professor stares into the steam of his black coffee, planning a lesson, brainstorming. When he asked the air, do we exist because of the imagination, or do we imagine ourselves into existence? It responded in his mind as these words that started to glitter and buzz along his laptop. Invisible city, take me there. Summon my soul into your abyss of sensual solace and silent streets. Let me disappear into your belly of tarry twilight spirals. Or better yet, tie my neck around your umbilical cord of nirvana, and let's make the diamond mind dream again, where unconsciousness hovers. To dreamy this poem, still decolonizing soundscapes, my initiating poem written under this invisible city. Still decolonizing soundscapes. Before there was remembrance of umbilical wombs rupturing and baritones bellowing from the blooded bellies of babies, there was Mama lactating spectral stories about a line of larynxes playing a game of limbo linguistics, where Spiros, the limbo master, sprung from smoky ground and was crowned conductor and lead soprano to an ensemble concerned with creating songs that will synchronize the snaking temples of lava lakes with the steel excavating and long falsetto chants erupting from their loving island's mouth of volcanic memory. Spiro spoke to his ensemble of his vision, of how Creoles summoned the melodic chords of survival from shells, and how they mounted the belay and beat it with bamboo sticks until they were given the cadence of hoofbeats that dictated the demergic, angelic design of ethereal calypso erasing apocalypses. As they listened to Spiros' sprawling speech, a frenetic muffling of steel-ringing cymbals sliced silence and made them imagine the designs of an anti-apocalyptic sound that symbolized and foreshadowed a seance of musical and literary antecedents in session with modern-day reggae dancehall descendants that sound like Roy-type toasting mixed with reading Wilson Harris like Chalice in the Palace of the Peacock, then segueing to breeze-like lyrical eka flowing, transmitting songs like waves crashing along the reef barrier to eliminate colonial songs in a song clash for the ages, where waves spill over middle passages to song tonight's burial of evil colonial systems, and where the colonial gong songs break and the DJ dub scientist dissects its vinyl lasers to proclaim the dance done, and the erasing and replacing of the gong with the sound of antecedents ascending in springing reverb and a distortion of singing alleluias from fragmented abangs echoing the abeng, the abeng, the abeng, bang bass. Amen and alleluia, this abeng in alleluia, amen bass.
Thank you very much, Mr. Guerra, all the way from Belize. I love this virtual thing because anybody could be anywhere in the world and still take part in Stand and Deliver, and I'm so happy that you are here to witness it this evening. NGC Bocas Lit Fest right in your house, right in your home, and let's head across to Dominica because we have Mr. Ed Elick. Check this out.
The orchid mantis disguises itself as a beautiful flower, with bright floral colors and petal-shaped legs that are welcoming to other insects. Most times, other insects don't know it's a deadly predator till they are grasped by its tooth-like arms and are about to be devoured. But that I know now. The Venus flytrap makes itself very attractive, inviting small animals into its open leafy jaws. The animals are led to believe they are being given a treat of nectar, unsuspecting that they are in the jaws of a carnivorous plant until they are being suffocated. But that I know now. I know now you were not sincere. You were there with that big smile, but all the while you intended to eat me alive. Post up as a friend, but plotting my end. Some people are frenemies. They are friendly, but they are not friends. So you should never, ever let down your guard around them. And that I know now. Your badness could not hide forever. It could have been days, months, or later, but what's done in the dark would be clearer, and oh man, I see clearly now. I see your crooked ways. I see the crock behind your smile. I see the deception in your eyes. Oh yes, I know now. A friend that's envious was never a friend. A friend with vicious intentions was never a friend. They might have appeared like one, but that's their nature. They are natural deceivers. A scientific study shows that the orchid mantis attracts insects better than a real flower. In other words, at times, the orchid mantis looks more like a flower than an actual flower looks like a flower. And that I know now.
Redolence. Detecting him was no task for her. His scent would leave a lasting impression. This, combined with his skin, could be described as a masterpiece to excite the human senses. After that incredible night, she felt their souls transcend, as if being drugged, and the chemistry in which they shared was magnificent. His scent stained her skin, quickly becoming her personal fetish. Addicted to him she grew, her first insufflation of human heroin, constantly shutting her eyes and inhaling deep whiffs of herself. This gave her mental orgasms, her little secret. His pungent arms pressing against her thighs whilst nibbling on her olfactory receptors drove her out of her mind. There's a thin line between sanity and insanity. This she would experience each and every time he caressed her, not being sure if she would ever return to the world of the scene. He would restrain her. My, oh my, this feeling was like no other, she thought. Silencing her and whispering in her ear, frequently pulling on her hair, and expert at multitasking. He got filthy, the sweet aggression. She fell in love with the word dominate. The rush made her inside burst into flames, consuming her. His behavior untamed and savage. She would please subliminally as tears trickled down her flushed cheeks. Please stop. I feel a fever coming on, she complained. But he was completely oblivious and continued. The penetration plunged her soul as her prison was invaded. Religiously locking him into her atmosphere, he would devour her before the great flood came and drowned them both. An overwhelming experience every single time they met and threw feast on each other. That goddamn cologne.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace Peters-Clarke and I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, currently residing in the United Kingdom. The poem I'm going to read today is Home to Me, and I wrote it in response or as a response to capture the feelings of somebody experiencing the volcano erupting from abroad. Home to Me. Strayed child of Hiruna, starved of all things home, you hold your breath and clasp at every morsel tossed your way. Your mind fractures into two, 1 quart on the functional, 3 quarts on the stark scenes of horror colonizing your brain. Versions of verdant land now cloaked in grey, reels of rock spewed from once serene mountain tops, apocalyptic plumes plummeting through sapphire skies, living stories of resilience and resistance, all wrapped in the anxious sighs of the people, your people. Strayed child of Hyruna, how life is now reduced to short clips and updates as you desperately wait, refreshing every page, your fingers now a portal, every click, tap and slide transplants your mortal soul in the midst of Mama Earth fire unleashed on land, your homeland. Your eyes widen in disbelief at the grim, maddened by what you see and cannot touch, saddened by what you hear and cannot feel. Strayed child of Hyruna, how pyroclastic flows, ash plumes and lahars, all dug up from an ancient lesson of geography, now populate your vocabulary. And sometimes it is too much. You come up for air, seeking solace in rife simplicity. Yet simple things frustrate you now. Running water freely flowing, air that does not stifle, clean breeze blowing, posts of yesterday's dinner and the happy afternoon stroll. The world did not stop for you remain after all. And so you scramble to proffer what you can. Try to bubble wrap your angst and send it home. Try to parcel and package your patriotic self. Try to squeeze and stuff your loyalty into stacks of weighty water bottles and tinned cans. Because you do what you can. Anything to aid the gaping wound Morn Sufre has warped. Anything to do your part. For the world must know you did your part. Strayed child of Hyruna, starved of all things home, you close your eyes and dream and hope and pray for calm, serene, better days. For though you've strayed for quite some time, Garinago spirit runs strong in your bloodline. And even in this darkest hour, you know your faith will see you through. For Hyruna will always be home to you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Yuklan Cross. I have 5 selections of poetry for you. The first is called Pup. What's left of our ball of fur, with wagging tail and eyes demure, ears sharpened up to every sound, and 4 little paws going round and round, lining leather slippers up and down? What's left of those eyes so brown, and head attentively bent, to hear if we have a morsel to spare, of chicken breast, preferably, please, not too much rice, and very little peas? What's left of that big brave bark, from his tiny frame when on the attack, and his baby hair getting curly and brown, now that he's gone, now that he's gone? What's left as free lives, more open to love, grateful for the gifts that came from above, wishing we had time to love him longer, knowing he made our tenderness stronger, that he's playing in that big garden in the sky, always part of our lives, just passing by. The second piece is called Look at the Spaces. The spaces between us we need to survive. Spaces like nap time allow babies to thrive. Spaces between notes allow melody to flow. Spaces between plants allow them to grow. The spaces we make for a stranger or friend in our busy day just to be there for them, to offer a smile or a hug or an ear, may be all that is needed to ease their fear. The space of our universe is an unfolding mystery. The space beyond this life, well, that's another story. Spaces in our lives are nuggets of peace. Find them, treasure them, they give us release. The third piece is called Our Great Leatherback. A worthy example to mothers to be, as gentle and caring as any you'll see. Her eggs she tucked in the soft moist sand, and bid them sweet dreams in this strange land, full of wild meat mongers, turtle egg lovers, with no heart and no mind, unable to be kind. She came from afar to nest on our shore. She leaves them behind and is lonely once more. So determined, so strong, great echo of our past, will she always belong in our oceans vast? She cried all the while in her labor and rest, as the dark moonless sky stared down at her nest, full of pearly white eggs, babes asleep at her breast. Undisturbed, they will grow to be turtles like her. On 5 weeks or so, they'll be free to go. The fourth piece is called The Old Wooden Bench. Who sits here, I wonder, to stare at the waving trees and watch the ants hurrying by, undeterred by the constant breeze? Who sits here, I wonder, to listen to the wild bird's song and watch the old leaves curl and die and let the wind move them along? Who sits here, I wonder, as the drizzle gently drops shining crystal balls of light on the grass and flowers and treetops? Of all this beauty we are a part. Let not the unlovely take over your heart. The final piece is called Family Day at Maracas Bay. What a gift is family. One may rest easy with siblings and many a friend. From any illness you're sure to mend. To feel the wind in your hair and breathe in that sweet scented air, while the foam rushes onto your toes and the warm sun dazzles and glows on your eyes and your nose. It is perfect bliss to receive its warm kiss and know nothing but gratefulness. Thank you.
I hope you've been enjoying the evening so far. We are inside Stand and Deliver, and we're firmly inside right now because we're almost coming down to the end. That was Yuklan Cross coming out of Trinidad and Tobago, right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And this is the NGC Bocas Lit Fest, Stand and Deliver. My name is Rockus. It's been a pleasure hosting it with you guys this evening and taking you through the journey. I hope that you either got a second glass of wine or juice or water, or you still have the first one and you're taking it light because the stories are just so captivating. I know. But you know what they say, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, and we make a complete circle because we're going to end off this evening with the person who was actually the first performance in Stand and Deliver at the NGC Bocas Lit Fest for 2021, Miss Tamara Lowe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for being here with us on Caribbean Literature Day.
To little black girls who may never be told, they are coming for you, little black girl. They are searching for you. Ears pressed against thick walls, eyes squinted, intuition sharp. They are coming for you, little black girl, and they will find you. Stay focused, my child. Listen, this is key. He has taken nothing of value from you. He will cut pieces of your bloody hymen and leave tokens to shame you on the walls of your path. Please know that this is the path. Walk through and whisper your affirmations, and the echoes will come, reaching from our dreams of tomorrow and our sufferings of the past. They will detangle the insecurities stuck in the base of your cords, for you were not born to whisper, little black girl. You were born to roar. Smile, little black girl, with smiles that hold no pain. Like pain never forced its way into the tiny spaces between your teeth, nor made its way to the base of your feet. A familiar tickle, an attempt to plant its root and hold you steady. Once you stop. So smile, little black girl, and keep on moving. Conquer one step at a time. Share one post at a time. Write one poem at a time. Win one election at a time. Take back that puzzle to where you found it, little black girl. The puzzle of a man that was never yours to fix. Pieces that were never intended to fit. A broken man, a broken fate. A broken man, a broken spirit. Love will come to find the pieces of your hidden puzzle. Some wrapped in plastic to keep the water out, or tied to a stone to keep from floating. Love will come, little black girl. Love will come. They may be familiar faces, little black girl, a parent, a teacher, a friend, who will bring you the message that you are a little black girl, as if being a little black girl made you less pretty or smart, inferior. This is important, little beautiful black girl. Arm yourself with books to shield your thoughts and plaster the images of black woman excellence on the walls of your consciousness. Memorize the meanings embedded in the kinks of their hair and the pride and determination in their eyes. Draw maps of their struggles and their strategies, for you will walk their battles. There, go in power, little black girl. Go in faith.